Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. My name's Aman. I am from the Financial Times, head of the Central and Eastern European markets for the commercial team. This afternoon, I'm really glad to be here back at Impact to talk about the impact of AI agents on shopping and marketing of the future. I'm pleased to be joined by three experts in the field. To my left, we have Artur Kurasiński from AImmersive, co-founder of the startup that's 2 years old?
Exactly, yeah.
Yep, perfect. Next to him, we have Eleftherios, VP of Sales in Central and Eastern Europe at Dynamic Yield by MasterCard. And as a last-minute fill-in, unfortunately, Wojciech could not be here with us today, so we have the pleasure of David Roberts from Allegro, Chief Technology and Product Officer. Now, we're quite short on time in this panel, and we have, I'm sure, lots to discuss. So in the interest of time, I'm going to assume that everybody in the crowd is quite aware of what an AI agent is. I'm going to say it in kind of one simple sentence, but the panel can build on this as we go through in the next 20 minutes in their comments. So AI agents use generative AI to support human-like characteristics such as reasoning, memory, and decision-making, which is a step up from the chatbots that we are probably quite used to because of their ability to complete specific and complex tasks autonomously. You're thinking of kind of Alexa and Siri in our day-to-day lives. As a focus on the kind of shopping and marketing world, for my kind of first question, and feel free to dive in here. So how are AI agents redefining the customer journey? Who would like to go first?
Yeah, so maybe I'll take this. All right. Especially with Allegro, we're very, very deep into this right now, and of course for a very valid reason. So AI agents, as we know them right now and what we see in the future, is going to completely revolutionize the customer journey. So think of it this way. You have your agent, and your agent helps you with your needs that you have. Think of task flows. And now pretty soon your social media, you're looking at your social media, and eventually you're like, I want this product. And what will happen is your agent will now need to talk and find where is this product at. There won't be any more going to Allegro.pl or Amazon.com. It'll really be your agent is going to go out and find exactly what it needs, what you want. So from an agentic point of view, you have your agents, but so what we have to do as e-commerce and in this customer journey is we really have to build agents on our side that accept this, that connect, but also provide the most valuable product for the customer, but also be the most loved the most loved agent, because at some point we're going to need to talk about marketing. And how does the customer find your agent, right? So you have two problems. So one is, and sorry, I'll try to go quick here, is one is you have to build an agent from an e-commerce point of view that people will find most loved, and it differentiates between other companies. And then the second problem that you have is, okay, how do I build trust, and also how do I interact with other third-party agents? I have more, but I'll...
Yeah, absolutely. We will get onto the trust side shortly. And you say problem. I think a lot of people in the crowd will say opportunities, right?
Opportunities, yes.
Elef, is that similar to what maybe is going on at MasterCard as well?
Yes and no. So what we, for example, recently announced is the opportunity to have agent pay. So basically to facilitate secure payments within the agent space so that agents can pay on our behalf. But I would like to add another layer. So there will be the agents, obviously, that will do the buying journey for us, that are going to do the discovery for us, and they will take over a more complex task, actually, when we are going to have our buying journey. But in addition, and this is something where Mastercard is or already comes to play, is something that we call Shopping Muse. So basically, where brands have the opportunity to have their own shopping agent, and once users and once customers interact with these shopping agents, they take a lot of things into account. So available data about what are their preferences, what are their interests, and instead of basically browsing, like shelves in an e-commerce store, they have that opportunity to have a natural conversation and be guided through their buying journey. So that's definitely an additional layer when it comes to agents to be taken into consideration.
May I add something? From my perspective, I'm just the person from more likely the entertainment world. But when I think about the agents and the future of shopping, let's say I'm setting now my little store. I'm trying to sell socks. In the near future, you have to have like a carrier or somebody, entity, or just the program that will help you being discovered. Because right now we have marketplaces like Allegro. We have like companies helping with the payments like Mastercard, and I can trust you as a consumer. But when I will be a little middleman with no trust, and this might be a crucial thing for newcomers in this industry. So I think this will create new opportunities for you guys, for the guys, big guys in the market, but also for the new, let's say, new marketplaces that probably will gather around and give this trust to small shops, to small owners, because otherwise you cannot compete with the almighty agent from Meta, Google, or Microsoft.
Yeah. So a way to think of this is similar to like when you're looking for a new TV right now. You look at the ratings. You look at what the ratings are, and this is where I was trying to start leading us towards is your agent as a small direct-to-consumer or even a large e-commerce site. You have to build up this rating that then this future agent on many of your phones, for example, because Apple is working hard to have small language models to make sure they have their agents. But so what will happen is now this agent that you've set up will look for certain ratings, and this is where it's on the companies as companies to really make sure we have again that most loved product and our ratings are high, because this will, in a sense, redefine search engine optimization and all of these pieces. So it's an incredible revolution, and I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited to be around for this. So.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's really good to hear, because I think we see that there is this kind of rise of AI agents as well, and that's not going to stop. So on that basis, then, what does that really mean for kind of brands building that kind of brand-consumer relationship still?
I think ultimately this relationship is also going to be fueled by trust, and I think trust is going to become a much more important currency in the age of agents. Because you mentioned, for example, the ratings, and yes, an agent, for example, could go by the different ratings, could analyze and assess basically what is a loved product of others who maybe are alike. But I think ultimately it will really depend that with this innovation and the adoption that is going to come, that there's not going to be too much dissatisfaction, because it's going to harm actually also the adoption of these agents.
I agree. I completely agree. The trust will be new currency. That's, in my opinion, one of the most obvious things. The second is that everyone, Financial Times, Impact, all the vendors here will have their own agents. And the problem will be how you convince your customer, the people that will use your algorithm, that you are best in some way, right? Because right now we have, let's say, Amazon. But we know pretty sure that Amazon is not very well in Poland. That's why Allegro is still existing. And this is the same situation with all the countries in the world. So how we can build this trust is one thing. Second, how we can really help customers where everything will be democratized in terms of algorithms and agents. Right now, what's the difference between OpenAI or, let's say, the Claude, right? Anthropic. Probably Claude 3.7 it's better in some task, but we all know that most people are using the OpenAI software. But in the future, from my point of view, what will be the most crucial for me will be efficiency. If I book this flight and I will get the lowest price, the cheapest flight, I'll be satisfied. If it's not, I will get rid of this agent, this app, whatever it will be, and say, okay, give me, the replacement.
So I'll add a little bit to this. So again, if you think about a customer agent, which has, it's really, the best way to think of it is it's a companion or an assistant. And I know it sounds to everyone probably I'm about to go science fiction, but trust me, this is already happening. So you have your companion, your assistant, and your assistant has multiple agents, is the way to think of it. And I will set up, here's the, again, because what I look at from what customers are doing, what the people are doing is they're heavily involved in social media. We continue to see this going forward, and they're going to like things. So from a marketing point of view, brands are still going to need to be heavily involved in social media. And as a consumer, I know many of you probably already do this. I do this. If there's some new backpack I want, and I see this this person on Insta, IG, Instagram, whatever age category you're in to call it this. Sorry, I have to laugh at that. And so I'm like, oh, I want this. And again, there's a brand associated with that. And now, and then I will have, I will set up, again, here's where I think are the best agents, but also, please check and see if there's something different. Now, when I say the best agents, I mean agents that I've been working with from a e-commerce point of view. So what I'm getting at is this trust will come, but stage one, that we're seeing right now, which, by the way, I should mention, at Allegro, I'm already seeing massive traffic coming from Perplexity, from ChatGPT, trying to hit our catalog, and already we know people are coming to find the product. So it's already happening, and then for the trust factor, and again, how do I boost Allegro? Is we have to really be in the forefront of making sure that we're available, that we have high ratings, that people will add this eventually to their configuration of their companion, and this will be one way. Of course, right now it sounds easy. It's not.
I may want to ask you, actually, because this is a buzzing topic for me too, because you mentioned that you see increasingly traffic coming from ChatGPT, Perplexity, so on and so forth. I think, and that comes back to the trust issue. How would a user understand, basically, when Allegro is going to be, for example, suggested, and basically you will be led and redirected to the website? Because sometimes when you then challenge ChatGPT or Perplexity, and you would, for example, come up with another suggestion, it would only say yes. Actually, that's also a good idea. I should have, suggested this too. And I think we need a little bit of transparency for the user.
Yeah. So good question. I can tell you what's the step one. So step one would be, it's already part of your, it's similar to in your, sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? It's already in your history. Sorry, I was trying to think of the right word. Cache is probably, it's more of the technical term. Sorry, I was trying not to use that. So I know that, okay, you shop at Allegro. I know that you shopped at Zalando, right? There's a particular vertical. Maybe you were looking for a certain pair of sneakers. So I already, as you build your agent, it already knows that it has this information. So this is truly step one, and this is why. And then if you look at now we go to a ChatGPT. How does it know about Allegro? Well, eventually, here's another piece: is that it looks at my, again, I'm going to be just a tiny bit technical. It looks at my IP address. It knows I'm in Poland, and it says, David. Here is the products that we recommend for this particular brand, and it's at Allegro as a price. So, in fact, actually, I have another story, but I should probably save that for a different panel. But sorry, because I have a similar question. So this will be step one. But the future, what will happen is what I'm trying to get at is this is where the super complex piece that's about to happen, which is I build my agentic layer at Allegro to accept now these requests. And I know in this marketing piece that Google currently owns, in a sense, this probably goes away. I was just at Google Next talking to them there, and they were looking at me, and then they realized, oh, okay, because they're so focused on internal pieces that they're realizing, oh, why would I ever go to use Google search anymore? So to answer the future part is really, this is the piece that's still up in the air a little bit, but really what it's going to come down to is your assistant, again what I call it, is going to sit there and know about you. It's going to know everything in your closet. It's going to know what your calendar is. It's going to understand. It's truly an intelligence, and it will know where you should shop. So this is where I have to, as an e-commerce site, make myself to be this goes back to my first statement, I have to be the most loved and awesome site, and this is what we're doing at Allegro. I'm working super hard on this. I have 2,600 in tech, and of this, 70% is focused on making this happen.
I've seen the numbers. I've seen the growth actually. So that's great. Let's bring it back to that future topic, because we've touched on trust. We've mentioned kind of satisfaction. But if machines are so heavily involved, how are we going to kind of retain that loyalty with the brands? Is that going to be there in the future?
This is tough, right? And but if you think about it, it's similar to the same problem we have. It's just now things are at a different level. So, for example, how do I still maintain trust for people shopping at Allegro or your e-commerce site? How do they still trust in Mastercard, right? So you build the trust through time. But also, I have to make sure it's all the basics. I still have to make sure I have the right products, that the right prices. So we haven't talked about it, but there's this huge, massive other side called partners or your merchants, who, and as an e-commerce site, I need to make sure from that my catalog is tight, and I can compete. And then I have agents. By the way, this is also what will happen. Agents will be out looking at other e-commerce sites, and the battle will continue of pricing, availability, etc.
It's just machine versus machine, basically.
Everything is going to be at a nanosecond, millisecond. Yeah.
I think what is also going to distinguish the topic of loyalty is your name Allegro. So are you a big player on the market? Or are you rather, let's say, a fashion brand that is trying to sell direct to consumer on their own? And in order to, I think, still maintain this loyalty versus the big ones, and basically versus the agents that are going to purchase on our behalf, you need to somehow offer an experience that make the customer want to visit your website, to visit your app, or maybe even combine it with some sort of off-site activation. I think they probably need to push harder in the future, and they will probably find another place where they're going to differentiate from the big players like Allegro, Zalando, so on and so forth.
From my perspective, there's big hope in the future, because 3 years ago, no one knows that OpenAI is existing. Right now, we are using the soft, and like you said, you see that from their side is coming traffic to Allegro. So probably the next 2 or 3 years, the traffic generated by OpenAI software agents or just generative products will be higher. So people sitting here and thinking about setting up the company or just small startups, I assure you that you have a place in the future, because probably there is a big shift in terms of the big companies coming up, what to do, how to switch the whole industry. There's always place for small fishes in the pond, and that's why I'm very optimistic about the future. And even though I know that you have to have lots of money, enormous lots of money to train your model, but still you can have API and you can suck up the information from the big players, and you can still build your very good business.
Yeah. So I'll just add a little bit on this. there is a massive future for up and coming brands, and now with the power of agentic AI, they will have at their fingertips. They'll be able to create campaigns. They'll be able to run those campaigns. They'll be able to figure out from a advertising marketing point of view what is the optimal customer that they're trying to reach, time frame, which platform / social media site, etc. So it's really leveling the playing field. Again, just because I was mentioning Google, Google has some pretty cool tools that are helping there that I think are impressive. Not that I work for Google, by the way, so just thought I'd mention that. But the other piece, though, is really if you think about it, this is why I was trying to talk about that merchant side. Is I call them the merchants, but it's the brands and how do they have an area to sell. And this is why from an agentic AI point of view, the vision that we have is great. Build your product, build your brand, and we will run your business and take care and do everything. Because with agentic AI, we have that power now.
Great. And one of the key things that I think all the big brands have to do is constantly keep looking into the future. And the future in the AI world is so fast moving. Actually, the short term is actually extremely short term, and the long term is short term. So with kind of that in mind, I want to hear from each of you on what you see, maybe long term, the future of these kind of AI agents, particularly in your world, is, as we wrap up kind of the last 90 seconds.
I was quote from my most beloved science fiction writer, William Gibson. The future is now, but it's not evenly distributed. And we do not wait for the future. Do not, hope that someday someone will tell you what to do. Do it now. Try, fail. This is not something that no one has a pattern or blueprints. All we are sitting here, we don't know what the future will be, but we're trying to somehow, create it. That's my message. Future will be very chaotic, probably not very good from some people, but hey, this is like normal situation right now.
Inspirational. Elef?
I make it very quick, and it's something that I want to remind us all, and I'm also reminding myself very often. So don't be scared about what this future development is going to bring. Sometimes we tend to be scared because we all have watched Terminator, but I think, ultimately it's here to support us. It's here to assist us. It's going to give us some maybe lifetime back. And one last thought is also 10 years ago, the use and the purchase of vinyl records came back. So people will still love to have some control, but they will use AI for sure.
So I think I'm out of time, but quickly I'll just say models are, when you think about models and new models, that's all just a commodity. You won't even be thinking about things as agentic AI anymore. It'll just be happening. And I can tell you, artificial general intelligence is coming, and it's just, everything is just moving fast, and your life will be different, but better.
Yeah. Great, that's what we want to hear. Thank you, great way to end.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, guys.